Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas, joined by Bryan Leonard at B Leonard Sports and Marco D'Angelo at Marco in Vegas. This is the AFC South division preview. All right, guys, I'm high on the Jags. I'm just going to say it. Maybe I'm crazy. Plus 450 to win this division. I'm not going to bet that. I do like their season win total over 8. So we'll start with the team that I like out of the AFC South. Marco, do you want to go first?
All about you.
I know. I mean, I know I should start with the Colts, who's the favorite, but I just don't want to.
Well, I'm going to point one thing out. On the season win totals for the 4 teams in here, the under is juiced pretty heavily on all 4 teams. So the market doesn't think Vegas put up a good number on these teams. I look at it a different way. I think that this is probably going to be one of the more competitive divisions because they're all about the same value. So like you, Kelly, I'm going to look, if I'm going to make a division bet, I'm going to bet one of these teams that are priced pretty nicely, Jacksonville being one of them, and even Tennessee at plus 700. But you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, key addition, Nick Foles. Do you think that there's going to be value going against Jacksonville, though, early in the season? Because people are going to jump on the Nick Foles bandwagon, and we're going to find out, was it Nick Foles or was it the Philadelphia system that was working those quarterbacks? Because Nick Foles left Philadelphia once, was in St. Louis and did really nothing there and came back to Philly as a backup just to hold the clipboard and got the chance in the miracle run to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl and MVP and all of that. And now he parlays that into a big contract at Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Marco, and I don't disagree with you because we saw the same thing with Case Keenum going from the Vikings to the Broncos last year. Not every quarterback is going to fit every system. Not every quarterback is going to have a nice O-line and a good defense to back them up. I do agree with you. I just feel like the public is not as high as maybe you think they are on the Jags. Bryan, your thoughts on this division?
Yeah, I was going to say I've never heard of a Nick Foles bandwagon, so I don't think that's going to be the problem. And you said you're high on Jacksonville. I think you just may be high because Jacksonville's, they're a better team than what they showed last year. But to me, there's only one team in this division that can win it, and we'll get to that in a minute. But Jacksonville, I like Jacksonville better than I like Tennessee. In this division, all the teams have very good defenses. You have to see who the best offenses are based on your quarterback play. And if you were to rank the quarterback play in this division, I think Jacksonville will be third in this division when it comes to the quarterback.
Absolutely.
And really, when you've got all the defenses that are all very good, you've got to have an outstanding quarterback to win. And I just don't think they're at that level yet. But I think there's value on the game-to-game bets on Jacksonville because they're going to be better than what they did last year. But as for having them win the division or something like that, I don't think there's any value in that.
One thing I'll add for Jacksonville, last year, this was a team that had a split locker room. As the season wore on, the defense, let's face it, they were pissed off at the offense. I mean, Blake Bortles would have that one good game, and then he'd follow it up with 2 or 3 bad games. And the defense just got tired. For the last 2 years, the defense was trying to carry an inconsistent offense, and that's what they're looking for with Nick Foles to try to get that consistency. And when I said about the bandwagon, I'm not sold that he is as good that he's going to turn this team around.
He is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but just like Eli Manning is, I'm still not sold on Eli Manning.
I'll take Nick Foles over Eli Manning any day.
Yeah, okay, just checking. All right. Okay, then, Bryan, I'll just ask you the $1 million question. Then you like the Colts.
I love the Colts. I think the Colts are, I'm not going to say there's a lock, but the Colts are definitely a team that you want to bet on. You take a look at the turnaround they've had last year. They're big on analytics in Indianapolis. They had a draft like the New England Patriots do, where they trade down, get more players, trade down, get more players. That's the way you do it in the NFL. And after all these years, and New England does it every year, I'm surprised everybody doesn't do it because when you've got the best organization in football, you learn from that. New England was the first one that would defer the kickoff on the kickoff every year. Then his divisional rivals did it. Well, now everybody does it. You got to learn from the best, and that's what Indy does. Indy's got, to me, their defense has really improved. The guys they brought in the offseason, they've got by far the most talented quarterback in this division if he can stay healthy. And I think they've done some things to the offensive line where they will be that. Indy's a team that's, if you're looking for a long shot to win the Super Bowl, I think Indy may have a chance.
All right, Marco, your thoughts on Indy?
Well, I agree with everything that Bryan said as far as the offensive end. I'm looking at, they made a big addition on the defensive side of the ball. Adding Justin Houston is going to give them an immediate pass rush. This is a guy that recorded last year 9 sacks in only 12 games. Last year, the Colts as a team only had 18 and a half, he's had 18 and a half in the last 2 seasons, where Indianapolis only had 38. They were at the bottom, one of the bottom teams as far as putting pressure on the quarterbacks. This is a major upgrade for a team that's never really had a defense. Now you get some pressure on the quarterback, force some turnovers too. This is going to be a team that has the offense. And last year, we didn't know what to think about Andrew Luck.
That's what I'm getting ready to ask. I don't know if I can bet over 10 and can confidently say Andrew Luck is going to, we know we can say that about any player, confidently going to stay healthy for 16 games. But I don't know if I really, truly believe Andrew Luck can be healthy for an entire season.
He did get better as the season went on last year. At the beginning of the season, he still didn't have all of the throws that he could make. He got more arm strength as the season went on, which normally it's the other way around. This is a guy that you don't know, but if he does stay healthy, yes, they're the best overall team in the division.
All right, we got to wrap this video up, but let's hit on the other 2 teams in the division. I'm not high on the Texans. I'm not a big Bill O'Brien fan. While you did kind of allude to, you thought Deshaun Watson was the 2nd best quarterback in this division. I'm not going to disagree with that, but he has some of the best weapons in DeAndre Hopkins and a couple other receivers on that team, yet I don't feel like they're utilized correctly. I don't know if that's an O-line issue, if that's a coaching issue, or what it really is. I don't watch enough Texans games to really pay attention. Thoughts on the Texans?
I like everything about the Texans except for the offensive line.
Okay.
You don't have an offensive line, you don't have a quarterback.
That answers my question.
That's the thing, and I do like the quarterback because he's been able to do things without an offensive line. How often is that guy going to have a career if he's running around like crazy?
And
like
he's getting his head knocked off every couple of plays. Obviously, I am high on that defense, J.J. Watt, Clowney. But again, both of those guys have been riddled with injury over the last few years. So for me, it's a no bet on the Texans, either on to win the division or a season win total. Is there any value there on either side?
I don't think there is, although I know we're touching on it quickly. Tennessee under, I think, would be one that I would look at.
Okay.
They still have no quarterback, and when he does play, he's injured. So
yeah, Marco.
Houston, go back to them. 62 sacks they allowed last year. 2 of their top draft picks this year were offensive linemen. So they have addressed it, but this is a situation whenever you're going to put some rookies right into the fire, it's going to take a few weeks for them. Look for them maybe to struggle a little bit out of the gate, but I think that offensive line, as they learn to play together and gel, that's going to give Watson more time, and you'll be able to see him do the things that we've seen, the flashes of magic with him.
All right, great stuff, guys. Don't forget, any 5% best bet is backed by our 150% Wager Bucks guarantee, where you get 150% back of the purchase price in credit at WagerTalk.com.